spend a lot of time out here on Cedar Lake teaching the kids fishing, kayaking, canoeing, and we spend a lot of time swimming on hot summer days. Canoeing and kayaking is all about getting the kids out on the water. We talk about safety on the water and boating safety, and then we give them lessons on canoeing and kayaking. Most important thing that we have to keep in mind, there's a big group of you going out. You guys all need to be listening to your counselors when they give you instructions.
First of all, we teach them how to paddle, and some kids come and they hold the paddles backwards, and so it's really fun to teach them how to use the paddles.
And we explain to them the proper techniques of picking out a life jacket, so it's not too big or too small on them.
We get them out in the boats, we make them feel comfortable. Some kids are really scared, they're worried they're going to tip. We see kids come out and at first they might be a little scared, a little worried about working together. When they're in a canoe, the person in the front and the person in the back really need to communicate. And sometimes they start arguing a little bit. We talk to them and then we ultimately tell them, you will go forward if you work together. So once they have the fundamentals down, it's really awesome to see them work together.
With the canoe you take, there's one person on one side and there's another on the other side. With the kayak you take one paddle, and if you want to go that way or that way, it's the same option. You go this way, you go that way. You go this way, you go that way. You do that, you go straight.
Working together in a canoe and kayak, it teaches you to bond with one another, because if you get in a canoe and you're both paddling on the same side, you're just going to go around in circles, where if you paddle one on each side, it's going to go a lot smoother.
Once they get the basics for the canoes and kayaks, we're here on Cedar Lake, and they will go over to a smaller lake called Baby Cedar, and that's a floating bog. So we'll do an ecology lesson in the floating bog.
Most people don't know really what a bog is. So we first teach them what the bog is, and we teach them what kind of animals live in the bog. And we teach them about fish, plants, everything like that. Then the kids, we have them be quiet for 1 minute and listen to their surroundings, and then tell us what they hear, tell us what they see and smell.
Usually a game of kayak tag or canoe dodgeball kind of breaks out on the water, and it kind of gives the kids a chance to play a game that's very familiar with them on land, but on the water it takes a different twist pretty quickly.
We played kayak tag and we had water balloons out in the water, and we did that, but they all floated and so we threw them back at the counselors. Canoeing and kayaking, I've learned that the people, my friends on the boats, they're fast. So when I'm trying to race them, I have to put extra power into it.
Really good to get them active. They're definitely sore the next day.
For fishing, we go over the basic techniques, how to cast, different parts of the reel, the different parts of the rod. You got your rod tips, and you got your grip. And then after we do that, we play a game called fishing golf. We got some plastic fish that we lay out on the lawn, and the kids can cast, and they try to catch the fish so they get proper casting techniques.
That gets the kids more used to the casting motion and some of the untangling and tangling strategy out of the way before we actually take them out on the water. And then we have a dock down here on the waterfront. We kind of try and show them that it can be as simple as a hook, a worm, and a bobber, and it can be as complex as all kinds of different lure setups and different bait routines and different speeds and different species and things like that.
We usually go through how to put the worm on. We start at one end of the worm, we work it up over the barb, and we explain to the kids the barb is to help hold the bait on. Also, when the fish gets hooked, it helps the fish so it does not come off the hook.
There's a bunch of different techniques. Everyone has their little secrets.
I usually cast with open reel. I usually hold the string and then flip the switch over, and then I usually go overhand or to the side, matters how I'm feeling.
Sometimes you throw your pole in the water, you let it sit, and if it's a little baby, you let it keep taking your bobber until you see it move for 3 seconds. Then once it goes again, you snag it. We fish for all kinds of things. We fish with worms and fake minnows.
For fishing, they like to wade in the water and catch minnows. Some of them prefer to lay down and cool off if it's a nice hot day like today.
Basically, you kind of just sit in the water until a minnow comes up, and then you take your net and snatch it and go as fast as you can, because they're pretty fast.
I caught something.
The passion, it gives me chills to think about that, because I know what it was like. I was in their shoes before. I know what it was like being their age, and I ended up catching a 32-inch northern pike. And for me, that really, I was hooked on fishing. I'm like, I love the outdoors now. It's hands-on. You can go out in nature and just relax. It helps you tone down everything, look at the world around you and say, you know, this is really great.